Okay, hello everybody. It's Wednesday, the 24th of June. It's actually my birthday today. Luckily, I'm not actually recording this on my birthday. Got ahead of the game and I've done this a few days ago. So what we are doing today is planning your own poem based on my poems from yesterday. And what I suggest you do, well, this is an optional thing, but if you would like to click on the link below this video so that you can watch a really powerful poem written by a Bristol poet called Vanessa Kizule. Okay, now it is a poem written for adults. There's nothing rude in it. There's nothing that you shouldn't hear, but it is quite grown-up language. Okay, so you might not understand everything that she says, but I'm sure you will get the gist of it. And it is a really inspiring poem. So what I'd like you to do is to pause this video and click on the link to watch her short reading of her poem. So she finishes her poem with this incredible line, "This whole time you were hollow." What do you think she meant by these words? Really, really powerful. Maybe have a chat with somebody in your household if you can about that poem. It's fantastic. Okay, so today you are going to plan your own poem. Yay! We all love poetry, and this one you've got a lot of scope. Okay, you can plan to write a shape poem. You can write it inside a statue if you want to, like the first poem that I had for you yesterday, or you could write a poem using free verse. That means that it has no structure and you don't have to have any rhymes. You don't have to have a certain number of lines in a verse. You can write that one however you want, or you could choose to make it rhyme. Okay, like my third one called No Blood to Give. Okay, so there's lots of options. We are keeping this one as sort of loose as we can, really, because we want you to be creative. Okay, there is a planning sheet to help you write down your ideas today, and I'm just going to very quickly remind you of some poetic language tools that you might want to use when writing your poem. So, for example, onomatopoeia. Okay, onomatopoeia is when a word imitates its natural sound or suggests the sound a certain object makes. Okay, for example, bang, crash, pop, smash. Okay, so you might want to use some onomatopoeia for the moment that the statue topples. Okay, that'd be cool. Using repetition. Okay, you all know what repetition is, when the certain word, sentence, or phrase is written more than once in a poem. Okay, it can help to make a poem more interesting or create patterns, and sometimes it gives emphasis. Alliteration is when the sound or letter at the beginning of each or most of the words in a sentence is the same. Okay, hopefully you're familiar with that one. It's a really nice poetic device. For example, Sally sells seashells by the seashore. That one's a bit of a tongue twister. Okay. Could be a really powerful device to use within your poem about Colston. Rhyme. Okay, a rhyme occurs when two words sound the same when spoken out loud. They usually have the same ending sounds, however, they don't need to be spelt the same. Okay, you all know what rhyme is. This is totally optional. You do not have to write a rhyming poem. A simile. Again, I'm sure you're familiar with this. A simile is a figure of speech. It's when one thing is compared to another using words like or as. So, as busy as a bee, as snug as a bug in a rug. Okay, runs like a cheetah. Okay, I'm sure there's some great similes you could use for the crowd around Colston as they pull down the statue. And finally, a metaphor. So this is a little bit harder to do, but again, really powerful. A metaphor is a figure of speech which describes a place, object, or subject as something unlikely and uncommon. Okay, they're used in poetry to create an image of judgment and comparison in the mind of the reader. Her eyes were like glistening jewels. Okay. The kids at school are all brains. Okay, so your planning sheet looks like this. Okay, to begin with, circle what style of poetry you're going for. These are the 3 that we've looked at this week. Whose perspective? Yeah, as you write, are you writing as though you are one of the protesters? Are you somebody that's just passing by? Are you a news reporter? Okay, or are you maybe even Colston the statue? Okay, just like that 3rd poem that I read for you yesterday. What verbs will you use? What adjectives will you use? What emotions do you want to share in your poem? Is it a happy event? Is it a joyous thing? Or do you not agree with the pulling down of the statue? And do you want to make it, within your poem, do you want to show that it's a bad thing? And then here I've written, will you include any onomatopoeia, alliteration, metaphors or similes? And if you have got any ideas for those, drop those down in the box here. And then very finally, I've put the title, okay? And I've deliberately put it at the bottom of your planning sheet because actually sometimes it's quite hard to come up with a title, okay? Sometimes it will just come naturally when you have finished your poem, okay? So don't worry too much if you can't come up with a title today. I'm sure it will come to you tomorrow. Okay, good luck. And tomorrow is your day for writing your poem and maybe even performing it.